reflection on lesson 158 in A Course in Miracles. Today I learned to give as I receive. It says, today I learned to give as I receive. I love that this is another very timely one, given my recent experiences, where it's talking about how you can't give experience. I don't know, my phone is doing weird things. If it stops, I'll restart it. So it's talking about how, well, what are you giving and receiving? Knowledge? Well, okay, but there's some of that. But what's really important is that coming into connection with God is an experience, and you can't give that. And I relate it to how a lot of teachers, like spiritual teachers, are pointing. The language they use, they have, like, every time you speak words, there's like more separation. It's the paradox and the irony, whatever you want to call it, of being a spiritual teacher. They have to speak in order to point. They can't just give you the experience of God. It doesn't work like that. Everyone comes to it their own way. So they use words as pointers. And every time you add another word, add another description, add another pointer, it's like creating more and more distance between you and God, you and the thing they're pointing at. But how else are you going to direct people who might need that direction, might need some pointers? So I think of, spiritual teachers. I follow some people online that are really good at pointing to spiritual awakening, or just awakening, whether you call it spiritual or not. It's just awakening to our true nature, more along the Zen route. That's what I align with right now. And so all you can do is point. That's all they do is point. They talk about it in a million different ways, because one of those ways is going to click with somebody at that unique moment on their journey. That's just the nature of it. Things that I heard a year ago are only now clicking. And things I'm hearing right now, sometimes they click right away. Some things I hear right now, I'm like, I'm assuming that'll make sense, that'll resonate, that'll click, it'll like make something happen maybe in another year from now. Who knows? But the timing by which I come across these things is pretty funny. Like A Course in Miracles is talking about how you can't give an experience of God. It will happen all in due time, when it's meant to happen. And it talks about how, like, we don't know when it's going to happen, and yet it's our own path, our own God within that has planned this path, and the timing is divine. So something inside does know, and it's like all roads lead home. God is within, and I think it's hard. It's a personal, felt experience. It's not even something I'm going to talk about, because that makes no sense to say that, because I know that before I've had the experiences, it didn't make sense to hear it. But anyway, God isn't out there. It's not something out there. It's just not. And yet you don't say, I am God, not in the ego sense. Yet God is within, and each person's unique expression of God is their unique expression of God. And you can't give the God experience to people. You can just point. And it talks about how, what are you giving them? And I think what it comes down to is my gift to people, what we give each other, is to look at each other and see the God within. recognize the God within, or just trust and acknowledge that there is God within the other. And that's like giving them the gift of acknowledging that. Like, it's like when you say namaste, I've heard it said like that's like the God in me recognizes the God in you, or the God in me bows to the God in you. And that's the gift we can give each other, is just to fully recognize that there's just that simple fact. And when you see each other in that way, it is a gift, because it went into a whole slew of talk about sin and sinless whatever. And it just means I'm not condemning you for anything, and nor are you condemning me for anything. When we recognize the God within, we're pure, that essence of us that cannot be touched or tainted or impurified. It's pure and always will be. Just like you want to say, like, I recognize you are full worth, just as you recognize I am full worth. And that is a gift we can give to each other. When we look at each other in any other way, it's because our mind is clouding that. And I think that a lot of these lessons lately in A Course in Miracles, actually probably all the lessons, are just really talking about how anything other than all that is when the mind, I don't even want to say mind, because in a way mind is God and God is mind, but the small mind, the grasping mind, the judging mind, the ego mind starts to get loud, and it clouds out all the true essence. And so when we aren't looking at each other with that, the God in me bows to the God in you, anything other than that means it's just our own personal blick in the way. And the more we can do our own work on our own selves, it's all a self journey, then the more we can strip that away, let it fall away, and let that shine out again as a gift to the other person, and let it be seen. And I think it's just funny. It's just funny. The talking about things conceptually versus talking about things from the lived experience sound on the surface very similar. So that's it for lesson 158. That's the gift we're giving. The God in me bows to the God in you. And the gift of experiencing God of self, recognizing that we are one, like we are one and the same with God, is an experience that each of us will have in divine timing. And now I kind of understand more and more what that divine timing really means. It's the timing the divine within has already mapped out for our unique path. It's different for each of us. That's why it's divine. We are each divine. Yeah. So anyway, because I'll be visiting my friend, I don't know when I'll have any time to do these reflections in private, since I'll be in their space and on maybe a schedule I'm not even aware of. So I may have to do a bunch of catching up on, let's see, that would be Wednesday the 11th, when I make my way from Seattle to Portland. So if I don't have any videos between now and then, that is projecting my routines into my friend's space